1 second.
Is it 18 or 20? I don't know. 18 or 20 actually, one of them, because two books have two different.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. I'll open the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I think it's 18. Okay.
18 or 17? Yeah, 17 we covered.
Yeah, 18. Yeah, I think we talked about 18 also.
Give me, yeah, I think so. Give me 1 second. I'll just review that one. That's what I was thinking about. We covered that one. Yeah, 17 and 18 we covered. We are supposed to start 19. Yeah, it's a new section. Can you see it there? Oh, very nice. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for this Bhagavad Gita study, application of Bhagavad Gita in modern world. I don't know what is modern, but yeah, I think people call it as modern, so let's do it that way. Current world. Okay, let's do that one. Yeah, modern is Hare Krishna. LinkedIn is filled with people saying that looking for a new job, this company fired so many people because of AI, and we call it as modern. Okay, thank you. We'll start with the prayer. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukum Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, thank you. Nitya Mataji, you can see the screen, is that right?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. Okay. Sorry, just going to increase the volume a little. So this is the previous section was specifically talking about karma, vikarma, and akarma. Now this is a new section which is 4.19 to 24. It is elaborately talking about actions of practicing versus perfected devotee. Briefly, we spoke about this, but just want to bring that in. So far in the previous section, we covered what are the papa, which is sins, and what are the punya, and what are the divya karma, which is basically a karma. And why are we discussing about all these points? What benefit we'll get? Because everything in this world has to have a purpose. Why am I learning something? Not just for the sake of learning, right? So living in this world is based on our action. So whatever current state we are in is based on our past life karma, and based on what we do now decides our future destiny. We create our own destiny. And this is very important, because if I know what to do and what not to do, then I can create a better future for me. So that's why understanding that is an important aspect. Question comes in is, why are we here? We are here because of our contaminated consciousness. What does contaminated consciousness mean? Contaminated consciousness mean the consciousness is not pure. Okay, so how is it not pure? What is the problem with what is covering the purity here? So we have six anarthas, or six unwanted things living within our heart. And I keep repeating that stuff. This line, Ravana is not outside. Kamsa is not outside. They are within us. These are the propensities which these demons have, which are still lurking in our heart, which is causing us to live in this material world perpetually until we take the path of bhakti. So we understand that we are in a dangerous situation right now. And if we want to purify our heart, we need to know how to actually purify our heart, which is only done through a karma. You are all with me so far? For an example, um, a mother tells a child that don't touch the knife, don't go here, don't do this, don't do this. Kids don't like no, 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 no. So that's why whatever time, at least this happened to me, even I used to do that. Whatever you are told to say no, you will do the same thing. Why no, 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 everything no, no, no. But this is very important when we say from this perspective, when scriptures are talking about certain things to be avoided, is based on what is good for us. Like for an example, like I remember, um, I would love to play games. Like games may not play out. We never had a concept of video games, at least during that time. And then when exams come, I can't go there. So I'm like, I don't like it, but my parents would force me. But I realize what is the importance of that one, because it is for ultimate good. So same way when we talk about these four regulative principles which are laid out by, these are the four pillars of dharma. What are these four pillars of dharma? Or what are these four regulative principles? One is no meat eating. Why no meat eating is important? Because if we kill other animals, we are going to suffer the reaction of that. We are not authorized to kill anyone for our food, which means we cannot kill the animal. So, which means no meat eating. The second one is no intoxication. What is problem with intoxication? Once in a while, coffee is okay, tea is okay. What's the problem? Like we grew up with the tea. What is problem with that? Again, I'm not saying that we have to stop right now, but I'm trying to bring in that idea. The problem with intoxication is that person loses its original consciousness. The person does not behave the way that person is. And you see so many things happen when someone is drunk, and they, run the car over here and there and all that. So that's the other thing. And now one may say, okay, so what's problem with the tea and coffee? That has caffeine, which actually agitates our mind. And that's why we are not able to focus on spiritual life. So it's recommended, if we can avoid, that is great. The third thing, which is very important, is no gambling. Any illicit way of earning the money is not recommended, because when you actually walk on the path where so many people have been ruined, or so many people, that is going to affect you, right? Like I was giving an example last time. There was one person who was saying, oh, I'm supporting villagers, I opened a factory. You remember that last week? Okay, so what factory did you go? I opened a wine factory there. Or you are thinking you are giving an employment, but if they are going to continue that job, they'll go to hell, because that's what the rules, which is not following as per the dharma. So that's very important from that perspective. So someone may say, okay, let me do good activities. At least that's how I grew up. Don't do nonsensical activities, do good activities, do good karma. Great, I get good results. Nice, everyone likes. Like for an example, if I study for the exam, I get good results. So it's good. But the challenge here is that when we do good karma or bad karma, to reap the fruits of it, we still have to come back here in the material world. And that's what we were speaking about. Irrelevant of whatever best car you have, if I have a toothache, oh man, it just hurts really bad, irrelevant of where I am and what car I am and how big is my bungalow. Right? So that's an important aspect. So we will cover that in this section. So we'll read 4.19. You all can see it, is that right? Yeah. Yasya sarve samarambha
यस्य सर्वे
kama
समारम्भाः
sankalpa varjita
कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिता
jnanagni sorry, jnanani dakta karmana
ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणां
tam ahu panditam buddha.
तम् अहो पंडितं बुधा.
Anyone volunteer for the translation?
I can.
Please.
One who sees inaction in action. No.
19.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Like a kind like
Yeah,
that.
I'm still in 18.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reaction of work have been burnt up by the fire of perfect knowledge.
Very nice. You see, that's very important aspect. One is understood to be in full knowledge. Who's now in this world? What is considered to be full knowledge? If you are making more money, you have good knowledge. But here, Bhagavad Gita's principle is very clear. One is to be understood in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. What is the problem with sense gratification? We know what is sense gratification, is that right? Okay, you know what sense gratification is.
They're doing everything that we feel good.
Correct. Which is based on sensory pleasure. Tongue, eyes, ears, smell, skin, and yeah, exactly. So through whatever we feel good, we do that activity. But the challenge here is that the result of that activity is what actually binds us to this material world. Sense gratification means living us, in simple terms, living a selfish life. I, me, and mine. That can be extended to my society, my Sindhu Samaj or Sindhi Samaj, Gujarati Samaj, Marathi Samaj, Maharashtrian Samaj. So it can be extended from that perspective. But it is all about I, me, and mine. He's said to be the sage of a worker, sage is to be a worker for whom the reaction of work have been burnt up by the fire of perfect knowledge. What is a perfect knowledge? Perfect knowledge means one, the knowledge which gives us deliverance from the cycle of birth and death. When we go to school, none of these guys talk about what you should do so that you can get out of the cycle of birth and death. At least, so 12 plus 3 plus 4, I studied for 20 years. And I think maybe some of you on the similar scale. Nobody ever taught me how to get out of cycle of birth and death. That's true. Even today's education, nobody talks about it. But what is perfect knowledge is getting out of cycle of birth and death. Baladev Vidyabhushan actually writes, he says, he whose performance of all action is devoid of expectation of desired results. For me, what am I going to get out of it? Who aims at realizing Atma through his action is called a learned man. Who understands the purpose of life, who tries to understand, in this case, Atma, understanding the soul and what is the connection of the soul with the super soul, is actually a person who is in true knowledge. One who knows Atma is Panditam by the wise, which is Buddha. So you all are here to actually understand the deeper aspect of what is the truth about the real life, what is beyond this body, what actually moves forward after we leave our body, which means you are actually a learned person. And why is he called so or she called so? When the heart becomes pure by execution of desireless duties, we everything you take any activity from day to the night to the beginning of the week to the end of the week, there is a desire. Why do I go to work? Oh, just I like to go to work. No, I go to work because I need salary. Is that right? And why do I need salary? So that I can live a good life, take care of my family and all. So everything has Quote unquote, every action I perform has some desire behind that, right? Desire behind. Why am I here? Is there a desire? Yes, there is a desire, right? Yes, why you are here to study Bhagavad Gita? There is a desire. Everything we do. However, the desires are different. There could be a desire that I want to make money so that I can retire early, or I can have good money, bank balance to actually take care of it. Or when I come to Bhagavad Gita, I have a desire. Yeah, I want to get out of cycle of birth and death, and I want to love Krishna. I want to know how to love Krishna, how to go to his abode and play like he's doing here, right? So that desire is transcendental. So when we talk about execution of desireless duties, not that you stop everything, you stop desiring, you dovetail your desire to align with Krishna. We all together actually just came. We were there, Sadhu Sangha. We went to New Orleans. Memorial Day weekend. We all like to hang out. Long weekend. We want to go out, spend some time good together. What we need? We need good food. We need friends around. Is that right? And kids can play around, right? Now, same activity can be done separately, but we went together for Sadhu Sangha. We said we'll get together. We ate wonderful prasad. We spent good time with friends there. We danced, we chanted, we heard, and we had gala time there. It's not desireless activity. You're with me so far, right? It's the same. I have a desire. What is that desire? I want to enjoy. So that's a reality. Enjoyment is not a problem. That's what I'm trying to bring in here. Being happy is our birthright. Let me put it that way. Everyone wants to be happy. But where is our happiness? That's what differentiates people, whether that person is in knowledge or the person is not in knowledge. So, dovetailing every activity in terms of Krishna consciousness actually refines that same desire to be spiritual desire. That's what I'm trying to bring in here. Like for me, if I even talk about my kids, they were yearning, they were counting days when we will go for Sadhu Sangha. Every year is like that. And now, when that is over, now we are counting our days when we will go for Kartik Yatra to Ayodhya. So, what is this? There is yearning. Same thing I can go, but this is a spiritual desire versus a material desire. So, not desireless does not mean we leave desire, but we spiritualize our desires. Then all our accumulated karma will have been burnt up by the fire of jnana, which has made its appearance. When there is a pitch darkness in the room, when someone brings the lamp, it brings the light, right? The darkness is gone. Knowledge is considered to be like a light. So, when we are living the life which is full of darkness without understanding the purpose of life, when this lamp of knowledge comes in our life, then we see things as they are. But before reading Bhagavad Gita, we have no idea what it is. Like, at least I remember about myself. I never knew what is the purpose of life. Yeah, like anybody else who is earning, they want to be big people, they want to have big family, they want to have big car, they want to have big house. But what after that? I'm still going to die. I'm still going to take the birth. What is differentiating me from others? What is differentiating me from animals and birds? Like I was just walking the other day, I was just coming in the car. I don't know if I share that. So I saw small babies of geese. So when we were passing by, the mother and father, they were like yelling at us. They were protecting their small babies, right? So same way when we go, when the kids are playing in it, make sure you don't go on the road. Like stop there on the stop sign. Don't go further from there. So animals are also doing, the birds are also doing. What we are doing is the same thing, trying to protect our children. So human life is not just about taking care of the livelihood and taking care of our kids, but rather than inquiring about the purpose of life and how we can be delivered and how our family can be delivered. Sorry. So, what we see, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, only a person in full knowledge can understand the activities of person in Krishna consciousness. Very difficult for people to understand, why am I doing what am I doing? Like someone say, hey, why did you go and then go to New Orleans? It was raining all the time. What is the purpose? What am I going to gain out of it? Or I can just go and then maybe just relax at home doing nothing. So very difficult for people to understand a Krishna conscious person. Like for an example, if I tell someone I spent 2 hours in chanting, they will laugh at me. But people who do not have deeper understanding, you tell them I spent 2 hours in meditation, they will laugh at me. Hey, why are you wasting? You could sleep extra, or you can go for a jog, or you can do some other activity, or you can, per hourly rate, you can work extra and you get some extra dollars. They can't understand that aspect, what Krishna consciousness is all about. And this is what is brought in here. Because one who is devoid of all kinds of sense gratificatory propensity, it is to be understood that that has burnt up the reaction of his work. Not easy to actually come to the platform of bhakti. I want to be very honest here. We have Mataji here online. Momita Mataji, thank you for joining as well. You're Nitya Mataji, and three of you are here. Do you think you can just come by your own will here? It's a nice weather, very beautiful weather, clear sky. I can just go near the lake and enjoy. Just relax. What brings you here? Have you thought about it ever? There is a push factor within your heart which is bringing you here. Not everyone can do it. And why does it happen like that? And this is what I want to bring it from this point. What does it say? Because one is devoid of all kind of sense gratificatory propensity, it is to be understood that one has burnt up the reaction of his or her work. We are not completely purified. We haven't destroyed completely whatever is our previous karma is all about. But by this practice of devotional knowledge or devotional service, there is a punya, which is a transcendental punya, has entered in our life, which actually motivates us to come to temple, which motivates us to perform devotional activities. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone can do it. You ask someone. I went to another place. There was a temple there in New Orleans. We went there. So there was one couple sitting there. This guy was really nice, American, born American, living in Ohio from here. He was born and brought up in Detroit, but he was there. I spoke to him for 25 minutes, 25 minutes. Gave him a what do you call it, a quick rundown about what Bhagavad Gita is all about and why we should practice spirituality. He said, I'm good. I don't have to practice spirituality. My life is good. He knows there is a problem in his life. His wife and her husband both were conflicting each other in front of me. So I could understand, guys, there is something wrong in your life. You don't have to hide anything from me. I can sense it from here. I don't need spiritual life. I'm good. God is there in my life. Okay. How do you reciprocate with God? For an example, you love your children. You say, what is your son's name, Madaji? Raghav. So you tell Raghav, I love you. He says, Mom, I'm hungry. But you say, no, I love you. Mom, I'm hungry. But I love you. What will you say that exchange?
Respond properly. First you respond or something.
The child, there is a word love and there is an expression of love. Expression of love is not meaning that I love you. Expression of love means do what the other person likes. Is that right? For an example, Thursday was my daughter's birthday. So she wanted to celebrate today. So since morning I've been cooking crazy. Why? Not that because I want to cook, I'm just tired. Because there is a reciprocation of love, which is not spoken by words. Similar way, Krishna does so many things in our life from morning to evening without even, if we have to count, just before you go today, before you go and hit your bed, and I want to hear from all of you on WhatsApp, write down on notepad or write down in your notes, whatever, however, what are the things which Krishna helped you today? I'll give you one example. The sun. Krishna gave me sunlight today. I'll give you a second example, and now I want you to go. Krishna gave me oxygen to breathe today. Third, Krishna gave me a good health today. I'll give you fourth. Krishna gave me food to eat. If you write down at least 50 lines, you will write down and you'll understand how much Krishna gives. And now if I say, yes, Krishna, I love you, that's not what love is. Love means reciprocation, what Krishna is looking for. And this is what Bhagavad Gita talks about. But this guy was not able to understand that. And that's why I'm saying not easy to come to the path of bhakti. It takes mountains of pious activities to actually understand the purpose of life. And then bhakti is altogether a different activity, which is not dependent on pious activity. Not every pious person comes to path of bhakti. Development of this knowledge for eternal servitorship to the Lord is compared to fire. Such a fire as once kindled can burn up all kind of reactions to work. Narada Muni was there in front of Mrigrari, who was actually a cruel hunter. Cruel is probably a very light word in dictionary. He would kill all the animals half dead. When you kill someone half dead, they can't die either, and they are in agony. Actually, they suffer so much. Narada Muni at that time show me a TV of future what is going to happen about whatever activities he has performed. He was able to show him the mountains of karma he is accrued by what he is doing. For all of us, we have no idea. We don't have access to what is there in my plate. If we get to know about it, I'll tell you, we'll run away. It's a serious matter. He will run away if we just get to know what is awaiting for me or what is my piles of karma. When it comes, when the results of wrong activities come, Hare Krishna, within fraction of second things change. Fraction of second. I have my personal life experience. Don't want to get in there. So, any questions or comments before we go to the next verse, online or here?
No,
Okay.
Prabhu, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. We will read verse 20. Tyaktva karma phala sangam
त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलसङ्गं
nityatripto nirashraya
नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रया
कर्मणि अभिप्रवर्तोऽपि
कर्मणि अभिप्रवर्तोऽपि
नैव किञ्चित् करोति सा.
नैव किञ्चित् करोति सा.
So the question comes, I didn't get chance to prepare, so we will probably read the purport for this verse, but this specific purport is talking about, can we read the translation? Anybody? My next slide is empty. Sorry, didn't get chance today to make some notes. So we are on 20 text.
20.
Thank you. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no futile action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings.
Can you read that again, Prabhuji?
Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no futile action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. How many of us in the call will say, I am independent? Just think over. I'm not trying to criticize. I'm just asking the question. How many of...
Dependent.
Huh?
Absolutely dependent.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. So Swami Prabhu is saying absolutely dependent, not just dependent. Prabhu, go ahead. What do you think? Are we dependent or independent? Fully dependent? Sure. Sure. Lock kiya jaye. How about you, Madhiji? Fully dependent, partially dependent, some way or other dependent. Okay, online. Nitya Madhiji, are we dependent or are we independent?
I think we are independent, but we are dependent, such as like sun, the natural stuff which is all around us. So we are kind of dependent, but we think we are independent.
Yes, very beautiful point. We think we are independent, but we are dependent. Right, Mamita Mataji, you want to add something?
Same, Prabhu. Thus we like to think that we are independent, but as for our health goes, the nature goes, our work goes, anywhere is a relationship. Everything we are dependent on fully.
Very nice.
Beyond it,
Very nice. When we say when we are dependent, which means any of us here in this room or online, did you choose your parents? Did you choose the city you will be born? Did you choose the school you will be going to? Interesting. Did you choose which wife you want to get or husband you want to get married to? Yeah, maybe. Did you choose what kids will be born to you? So many dependence on based on our karma. Based on the karma, the only thing which we have in our hand is just to go through it. Whatever comes in our quota. Whatever comes in our quota. Sometimes for some people the relationships are a big headache. They struggle as a husband wife for rest of their life, just suffocating in that relationship. For some of them the relationship is good between a husband and wife, the kids create a problem. And for some of them the kids are okay, the family is okay, they go through financial issues. They can't handle financial aspects, and then so much goes on that. For some people even financial aspect is good, family is good, but they have health issues. We are just, I would say, we are just the puppets in the hand of our destiny. Whatever comes in our hand, of course we are the one who actually created our destiny. But now whatever we performed in our past, that comes on our way, and we can't control on that part. Srila Prabhupada writes on the purport. I'm going to share this screen. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to share 4.20 here. Sorry, I didn't get chance. This freedom from the bondage of action is possible only in Krishna consciousness, when one is doing everything for Krishna. So when we talk about what is the freedom, what is the independence we have, like Mataji was Nitya Mataji was talking about, we think we are independent, but we are dependent. But there is one thing which we all control. Can anybody tell what is one thing which we have, which I can choose, or which I have a control of?
Desire.
Very nice. Desire, my actions, anything else?
our mind.
Our mind. Our mind is in our control, Mataji, sure.
It can be if you practice things right.
It can be, but right now that guy is making fun of me, I'll tell you. I just dance on like a puppet on the hand of my mind. So definitely not my control. If I could do that, I will offer obeisances to all of you, and then I'll be able to peacefully practice Krishna consciousness. So very nice you said the desire. Now coming back to this, what we have with us is our free will. Why it is free? Because Krishna gives us everything for free, of course, but we can choose what I want to do. Like I gave an example about you choosing to come here, study Bhagavad Gita, versus just relaxing or spending some time with friends is free will, which you utilize in a right way. So what does this purport says here? Purport is speaking about, you can see that? No. You have the book, right? No? Yeah, okay. This freedom from the bondage of action is possible only in Krishna consciousness when one is doing everything for Krishna, which means I'm utilizing my free will in a right way. A Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attraction for the results of action. There is one thing, and I keep talking about this thing, this is my favorite topic. One is to practice bhakti at the intellectual platform, and another one is to practice bhakti at the platform of heart. When we talk about practicing bhakti at the platform of intelligence, I do every activity just because I am told to do so. Why I follow four regulative principle? Because Bhagavad Gita says I have to do it. I like coffee, but I don't want to drink coffee because Bhagavad Gita doesn't recommend that. So what is it? It is intellectual. My heart says differently and my intellect says differently. You agree? You agree on that part? Like for an example, when you come to Krishna consciousness, something you used to eat before coming to Krishna consciousness. Now you go to your hometown or you go to some place, and now your friends remind, hey, can we go there together? Oh no, man, I don't need that. Why, man, we used to go together there? And your mind says, man, that was nice. Why am I missing that? You're with me so far, right? This is what it happens when we talk about from that perspective. This is intellectual bhakti versus hard bhakti. For an example, when the child says, I'm hungry, for a mother, I'm not a mother, but I try to think over like a mother, and I'm still losing there. But when the child says, Mom, I'm hungry, however tired mother would be, she would go to the kitchen and cook. You agree, Mataji? You will go and say, what do you want? And you will go and cook. Why? Because it's not an intellectual relationship, it is the heart relationship. Same way, when you come to the path of bhakti, one has to do that activity from the heart. When I'm speaking, when I'm hearing, when I'm chanting, when I'm performing any activity, when I do it with love, love means it's not an intellectual exercise. Love means it has to be done from the heart. For an example, I still remember when I was going to meet my wife for first time. We never met before. We are yet to get married. We are yet to get engaged. That's the first time. I am a person who always need a comfort. So that time I didn't have any reservation in the train. So I entered into waiting list. During that time you could enter in waiting list and you can just hang around wherever. And I didn't have a place. And it was a long journey because I was going from Pune to Delhi. So I slept in the place where there is a place between the toilet and this thing, whatever. I slept there. And I was just thinking about how could I do that? It's a material example, but even in material platform, it's so crystal clear. When you love someone, you're willing to go an extra mile, which you're not generally available, or you don't want to do that anymore because that's a matter of heart. It's not an intellectual exercise, right? We extend ourselves for children, like you were mentioning about your daughter is going to there. So Mataji went there and she wants to do. So there is some kind of inconvenience, some kind of getting out of the comfort zone. Why? Because it's the matter of heart. And this is what is being spoken here. The person acts out of pure love for Supreme Personality of Godhead, not just because I want to come here and read Bhagavad Gita. I'm eager to see Krishna. I'm eager to hear about Krishna. I'm eager to see Shri Radha Gopijan. This is heart exercise and this is what is being spoken here. Right? He is not even attached to personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna. Very high platform actually. That's why Vrindavan is the abode of Krishna. Why? Because in Vrindavan, everyone is living for Krishna. Their life is around Krishna. They don't do anything other than Krishna. They don't talk anything other than Krishna. And they just forget about their own existence from that perspective. So when we perform certain activities, we take care of our family, we do it in that mood that I'm doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. I'm taking care of my family for the pleasure of Krishna. And that's what is being spoken. Nor is he anxious to secure things, not to protect things already in his possession. To be honest, when in the company, you are in a team of 10, 5 people get fired. What happens? Get fear. You have a fear. What is the fear you have? Maybe next is I. You hear this, right? But the person who is connected to Krishna consciousness, a person who has complete faith on Krishna, he's not affected because he knows who is my caretaker, Krishna. There's a beautiful story, and then we will take from there. So there was, this is a real story, by the way. The travelers were traveling in a plane, and something happened in a plane. So they said, we have to do emergency landing. And the flight was just very turbulent. Everyone was shouting, yelling, whatever is happening, why it is happening, all that stuff. Where would I go? What is going to happen? They were just running. There was a little girl who was sitting in the corner, peacefully reading a book. The whole flight, all the passengers were yelling what is going on and all that stuff because the seats were going here and there, the bags were just coming out. So they were just discussing what is happening here. But this girl was peacefully sitting and reading the book. So the next passenger was very anxious and he asked a little girl, do you know what is happening? She said, yeah. But how come you are very comfortable, you are reading the book? We are not affected by what's going on here. Why is that? She said, you know what? My father is a pilot. He is the one who is driving this plane. I have a complete faith on me. because He loves me. He'll make sure I am safe. You're with me so far? Who's our pilot? Our pilot is Krishna. We are children of Krishna. He is taking care of us all the time, and He will take care of us all the time. But what is lacking today is the genuine dependence which this small girl had on her father. That is what we are lacking today. And this is what is being spoken here. That nor is he anxious to secure things, not to protect things already in possession. He does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Things may not result the way we are thinking about, but we have faith in Krishna that He is doing the best for me. Very difficult when things really go out of your way. I'm being very honest. Like, I still remember when my kids were, my son was 1 year old, 1.5 year old. My daughter was 5 year old. Just landed in America. We are in ICU in Chicago, and my wife is there. The doctor comes and tells me that your wife has a disease. She is also there actually. She is listening. She has a disease. There is no cure for it. She has few days to live. What do you think at this moment? Is Krishna taking care of you?
Think like he's
You
not.
can't think.
Yeah.
You can't think like that. Because it's an intellectual bhakti. The hard bhakti is what the little girl is having that faith on her father. We don't have that. It's a very simple story actually, but it's very deep message here. So why am I bringing this point here is that to come to this platform that Krishna is my protector. Krishna is going to take care of me. It requires a deep faith in Krishna. And faith, Yugal Kishore Prabhu was mentioning today's class, you cannot earn the faith by yourself. You can only practice devotional life sincerely. Krishna has to award you faith.
It's very profound.
Very difficult otherwise to actually come to that statement. I can theoretically speak here, but when it happened in my personal life, I can't say Krishna is taking care of me. You understand? This is the difference between a hard bhakti and intellectual bhakti. Sorry, that's my favorite topic. So I'll come again and again, come in every aspect from that perspective. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant reaction of good and bad. And that's where Krishna takes care. I'll give you a beautiful another example from scriptures. There is this king, his name is King Indradumna. He is the emperor. There is a difference between king and emperor. Emperor is a much more higher position. He has a much more bigger kingdom. So he is an emperor. He leaves, he's young, he has a beautiful family to take care of, and he has an opulence like anything else. He realizes the purpose of life, he leaves his family and goes to the forest to practice spiritual life. He goes to forest to practice spiritual life. One fine day, while he is just deep in meditation, one sage comes in and he is thirsty. And he comes to the king, and king did not wake up because he was in meditation. So the sage got angry and he cursed him. That because you don't understand how to respect the guest, better you become an elephant. What was his fault? Very nice life going on. He's an emperor. He leaves everything for practicing spiritual life. He is doing practicing spiritual life. He is in deep meditation. And at the time, some person comes and I don't even know that this person is here. And I'm cursed. And what cursed? What? I'll become an elephant. How many of us can accept that, oh yeah, I'm okay. Krishna is going to take care of me. No, right? It's a theoretical aspect. But this person accepted that this is Krishna's plan. And he became a Gajendra in his next life. And when he was in a most difficult moment, throughout his life, he did not practice spiritual life, but he practiced in his previous life. And because he accepted Whatever result came as a genuine appreciation, this is Krishna who is giving me this. He went back to spiritual world, though he did not practice any spiritual life in the body of elephant. This is what is being spoken about. That such an unattached person is always free from result and reaction of good and bad. It is though he were not doing anything. This is the sign of akarma or actions without fruitive reaction, which means you perform an activity which does not have material reaction, whether papa or punya. You get only spiritual credit out of that one. And trust me, we have no idea just coming here for 1 hour Bhagavad Gita class, what is the akarma balance we are putting into our account. Which means it is going to destroy me millions and millions of other karmas which are putting me again into this material world. No idea. But when we practice, even when we just chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra, just one Mahamantra has such a power to eradicate millions of lifetimes of karma or karma. That's how they powerful are. Which is mentioned, any other action therefore devoid of Krishna consciousness is binding upon the worker. That is the real aspect of vikarma, is explained herein before. Just to summarize what we discuss in this verse, we are talking about a person who is in true knowledge, connecting both these verses. He abandons all attachment to the results of activities because he understands I'm doing everything for pleasure of Krishna. And he is ever satisfied. Today, the world is filled with people who are never satisfied with whatever they have. That's why more. Greed is the biggest challenge today. Because of people, because of the greed, there is such an imbalance in the society today. Either there are people who are stinkingly rich and they keep becoming rich, and there are poor people who go even further down. Why there is imbalance in everything? That's not how the Vedic culture is. Vedic culture is they actually support each other to grow together. That's how it was. But now there is so much of discrepancy. There is so much of what is that? I forgot the term. There is a difference between the rich people and the poor people. There is so much of struggle. Why? Because these people are not satisfied. I want more, and more. And that was Ravana's example. I want more. That's what is happening. Ever satisfied, and that person is independent. Very interesting. We said we are not independent, but when you actually practice bhakti, not being attached to the activities or results of the activities, you can still be independent. Why independent? We are dependent on what? The energy of Krishna. We are dependent on Krishna. You agree? Because sun, what is sun? Sun is actually working under the direction of Krishna. Right? Material nature, the complete material nature works on a dependence on Krishna based on what Krishna is saying. That's how it is happening. A person who is completely surrendered to Krishna, like this girl who is sitting in the plane, she is dependent on her father. She's not affected by anything. Am I making sense, connecting these dots together? So when you have faith in Krishna, when you practice bhakti with that platform that Krishna is my caretaker, then you are independent. Best example, another one example is Draupadi. Draupadi, if we see each and every one of her 5 husbands are extremely powerful. Bhima has the power of 10,000 elephants. You can imagine how much powerful he is. Arjuna, he defeated even Lord Shiva. What is happening here? This Dushasan, who has no power actually compared to any of these things, trying to actually disrobe her in front of all the armies, in front of the whole assembly. And she calls out, she goes to everyone, can you protect me? What happens? Nobody is protecting her. Because she was thinking, I am dependent on them, they will protect me. But none of them could protect her. Until she realized, I am dependent on Krishna, Krishna immediately appeared. And that's how she became independent. So many incidents. When Draupadi, along with the Pandavas, they were living in the forest. So, this Durvasa Muni came to Duryodhana's palace. Duryodhana served him really nicely. He said, "What do you want?" He said, "You know what? The Pandavas are in the forest. Why don't you go with your 1,000 disciples? Go and have a lunch there." Now, what is his plan? If you are in the forest, you are not a king. You hardly survive, you hardly struggle for your survival. And now Durvasa Muni is coming with his 1,000 disciples and you have to feed them. Even whatever money I have. For an example, Swami Prabhu, I'll tell you, today night, 1,000 people are coming for dinner to your place. What will happen? What will be your reaction? I'll tell you that today for dinner, 1,000 people are coming. What will be your reaction?
Typically, I can't do it.
I can't do it, right? So what Duryodhana sends, Durvasa Muni says, go there. So they go to Yudhishthira Maharaj's house. And they reach to a time, they already finished their lunch. Draupadi was given a Akshay Patra. She has been given a pot. Whatever she desires, she will get from that. But one condition. After she eats, it's done for the day. That Patra will not generate the food after Draupadi eats. They reach exactly at that time. Draupadi has already eaten. And he says, I am hungry. My disciples are hungry. Feed us lunch. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, sure. We will go and take a bath in Ganges. We will come back. You make sure the food is prepared. So here, if you don't follow, you'll get curse. This is what is happening. At the time, Yudhishthira Maharaj goes to Draupadi, do something, we have to cook. Draupadi says, my dear husband, I can't do anything. I already ate. Now Akshay Patra cannot generate. What do I do? What does she do? Is she independent or she is dependent? She is independent. Why? Because she is dependent on Krishna. And she calls out Krishna. Krishna immediately appears. So Krishna says, I am hungry. Draupadi says, my dear Lord, why are you making fun of me? Durvasa Muni is coming. I don't have anything. What am I going to give you? Krishna says, no, there is something there. I don't have anything I ate. Okay, get me something. Get me the vessel where you cooked. So Draupadi brought the vessel. There was one rice particle in the corner. Krishna says, give me that. Krishna takes that and eats that. The moment he eats that one morsel, one, not even a bite of a spoon, one morsel of rice, those Durvasa Muni and all his 1,000 disciples were taking a bath. What happens when you take a bath? You get hungry. Agree? Any water activity, you get hungry. Now they are taking a bath. At that time, they feel they are filled till the neck. So Krishna says, okay, everything is taken care of. Now you go. He sends Bhima. You go and call Durvasa Muni. You're with me so far, right? Still awake, right? So he calls him. Bhima comes there. And then Durvasa Muni sees from there. And he's like burping. I'm full. I don't know what happened, but I'm full. So Bhima says, please come for lunch. Now Durvasa Muni hears that Bhima is very powerful. He's going to kill us with his arms. I don't want to go, but at the same time, I'm full. What do we do? He says, you go, we come. Immediately they run from there, opposite side, and they just leave to the forest. This is what the meaning of independent. The meaning of independent is when we are dependent on Krishna, we can become independent. So that's all I just wanted to share. Any comments or question online or here?
No, Prabhu.
So what did we learn today? I want to hear one point from each and every one of you.
I'm just gonna say right now that we are fully dependent on Krishna, and if we have a faith, and that should be the bhakti path we should choose, not only the intellectual way, but from
Ah,
the heart as well.
yes, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Anything else? Nitya Mataji, want to add something?
No.
Okay. Mataji, you want to add something? We need to? Ah, very nice. Okay. Intellectual bhakti to bhakti from the heart. Very nice. Beautiful. Neeraj Prabhu, you want to add something?
Yes, I really like the line from the text 20. It says, the freedom from the bondage of actions is possible only in Krishna consciousness when one is doing everything for Krishna. So
Yes.
nice, so
Yes.
empowering.
Yeah.
There are so many mundane things we do. We like, we don't want to, like, tomorrow I have to travel for a week. But I'm very happy because I'm doing it for Krishna.
Yes. When we have that consciousness that whatever I'm doing it for pleasure of Krishna is what actually takes us beyond the vikarma and karma. Because now Krishna takes charge of our life, similar way like this pilot did for this small girl. Very nice, beautiful. Prabhuji, you want to add something?
It's the same thing. I was also thinking the girl believes that her dad is going to take care of her through the heart, not through the mind.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do with Krishna as well as with a lot of things we do. That connection is much powerful than mind saying what to do.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. That's wonderful. In a nutshell, if I have to tell you what is the application of today's two words we discussed today, we understand whatever activities we perform on regular basis, none of those activities will liberate us. They will actually bind us to this material world. So one has to come to the path of bhakti. But even when come to the path of bhakti, one has to, I'm thinking about myself, one has to come to the platform of practicing bhakti from the heart, not from intellectual. Which means, the example which I was asking Mataji, your son says, I'm hungry, and you say, I love you. You do what the son is looking for, not that I'll tell the child that I love you. Similar way, when Krishna has clearly appeared in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, clearly gave us the path how to please Krishna. Let's follow that very simply, sincerely, which is giving our heart and soul when we are actually chanting Krishna's name. So I know we have Kirtan coming up in 2 minutes in the temple. So that's all I just wanted to cover today. But simply request you all, this is Purushottam month. Try to increase your rounds. However number of rounds you are doing, this is an opportunity to actually tell Krishna, I really want to be independent by depending on you. Right? Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki,
Jai.
Tai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Ending now. I'm just